She wants all of the privileges that go along with an identity, but she doesn't want any of the responsibility. She doesn't want to do any of the work. She wants the tiara. She doesn't want the public service.
And people would always ask me when I worked there, like, okay, like what stories are real? And I'd be like, okay, every story is real except for the ones about the royal family. And this was prior to Meghan Markle coming on. I'm like, the palace is just a tight ship.
Is Meghan Markle's continued self-identification as a working member of the royal family still appropriate? That question now sits at the center of one of the most disputed and emotionally charged controversies in modern royal history. Beneath it lies a deeper mystery, one that has transformed Sophie, once regarded as the quietest presence in Windsor, into one of the monarchy's most decisive and authoritative voices. And if this sounds like rumor or speculation, then the original chain of events has not yet been fully understood. Welcome to a moment where bloodlines, power, and truth converge. For Meghan Markle, the belief was simple: the speculation could finally be silenced. The lingering claims that her children were not carried by her, that they therefore could not legitimately hold positions within the House of Windsor, and that Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet's place in the line of succession was in question. She believed all of it could finally be put to rest. Her public appearances were meant to reinforce that certainty. Videos resurfaced showing her with a visibly rounded belly, posed deliberately, carefully framed. Observers noted the posture. Unnatural, deliberate, controlled. Then came the morning of December 18, 2025. Just days before Christmas, social media lit up with what should have been a sentimental holiday moment: Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's annual Christmas card. The image was polished to perfection: snow-dusted symmetry, curated lighting, and two young children standing between the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. But something was immediately off. The children's faces were completely blurred. Below the image, a caption read, "Wishing you warmth, peace, and privacy this holiday season. H&M." Within minutes, reactions split sharply. Supporters praised the commitment to privacy. Critics questioned the logic. Why release a Christmas card centered on children if their identities were to be concealed? Why stage a high-end professional shoot with luxury styling, studio lighting, and deliberate composition only to obscure the very figures being protected? The answer, according to a confidential leak 48 hours later, was far more unsettling. A photography assistant from Montecito alleged that Archie and Lilibet were not present at the shoot at all. The children photographed, the insider claimed, were professional child actors sourced through an elite Los Angeles modeling agency, selected solely for resemblance and height. The real children were never intended to appear. Only the concept of them. By December 20th, Sussex Christmas card was trending worldwide. Long whispered questions that once lived only on fringe forums exploded into mainstream discourse. Who gave birth to Archie and Lilibet? Why were there no verified hospital images? Why had senior royals avoided publicly affirming their status as heirs? This was no longer about privacy. It was about proof. Meghan's official explanation, delivered through longtime spokesperson Daphne Keller, only intensified scrutiny. The statement emphasized parental protection and sensitivity. Yet critics were quick to point out the contradiction. If privacy was paramount, why release a meticulously produced image at all? Royal analyst Elena Tombridge wrote in The Times, "This is not a candid family moment. It is a curated visual wrapped in ambiguity, broadcast globally, then defended as private. That contradiction is deliberate." The optics worsened when compared to the Prince and Princess of Wales, who released an unedited image of George, Charlotte, and Louis baking gingerbread in a cluttered kitchen. It was warm, imperfect, and unmistakably real. Until then, Buckingham Palace had remained publicly silent, even as surrogacy rumors circulated quietly through aristocratic circles and online commentary. That silence ended on December 21st. At Lancaster House, Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, appeared before international media to deliver a carefully calibrated statement on behalf of King Charles III. Calm, precise, and unyielding, she opened with 7 words that immediately reshaped the narrative. "This matter does not involve the crown." Then came the line that followed it, one that cut far deeper. While Harry and Meghan retained the right to raise their children as they chose, royal succession, Sophie emphasized, was not governed by emotion or intention. It was governed by verified lineage. She separated private guardianship from constitutional legitimacy with surgical clarity. "Names alone," she said, "do not create entitlement." The palace was no longer neutral. That same week, attention returned to a woman known only as DL, a former medical surrogate who had claimed she carried both children between 2018 and 2021. She alleged the existence of 2 surrogacy contracts, medical records from a Colorado Springs clinic, and her willingness to submit to DNA testing under court supervision. Previously, her claims sat in a gray zone. Plausible and proven. The Christmas card changed that. A senior aide close to King Charles was quoted anonymously. "If you ask the world to believe in motherhood but never visibly inhabit it, eventually the question stops being impolite. It becomes necessary." Inside Windsor, the mood hardened. Sandringham became less a holiday refuge and more a strategic hub. Between December 19th and 22nd, King Charles convened multiple confidential meetings with Princess Anne, Prince William, and Duchess Sophie. The objective was clear: constitutional exposure, public trust, and institutional integrity. The conclusion was unanimous. On December 22nd, as snow fell quietly outside Windsor Castle, King Charles signed what insiders describe as his most consequential directive to date, the Memorandum on Succession, Integrity, and Institutional Titles. Sealed and filed with the Privy Council just after midnight, the document avoided names but not meaning. It declared that only individuals whose births were supported by verified institutional documentation could be recognized as heirs within the royal legacy. This was not retaliation. It was recalibration. Princess Anne, according to aides, was instrumental in shaping the language. During a private walk at Highgrove, she reportedly told Charles, "This isn't about appearances. It's about foundations." William fully supported the move. To him, the Christmas card wasn't a misstep. It was an abuse of silence. "We stayed quiet out of respect," he reportedly said. That silence was weaponized. Sophie's appointment as the monarchy's voice was deliberate. Her credibility came not from performance, but experience. Her pregnancies had been medically dangerous, unscripted, and undocumented by PR teams. When she remarked publicly that late-stage pregnancy is neither graceful nor theatrical, the contrast was unmistakable. The impact was immediate. On December 23rd, Archie and Lilibet's profiles were quietly moved from the royal family section of the official website to extended family. Titles vanished. Precedents disappeared. Succession listings for 2026 omitted them entirely. King Charles's Christmas broadcast, pre-recorded weeks earlier, was subtly edited. Mentions of grandchildren were removed. Not hostile, just final. In California, Meghan responded visually. Paparazzi captured her leaving a yoga studio wearing white, holding women who run with the wolves, and sporting gold earrings spelling "Mama." The image circulated widely. Inside palace circles, the reaction was muted. "Symbols don't replace verification," one former royal advisor noted. Meanwhile, DL's legal team in Switzerland announced imminent filings in the UK High Court. DNA verification, testimony protection, succession review. Among the materials: contracts, ultrasound data, postnatal records, and a handwritten note allegedly from Prince Harry thanking her for carrying our family safely into the world. The palace did not deny the documents existed. Internally, succession records were locked down. Commonwealth legal offices were notified. Ceremonial invitations were permanently withdrawn. While Charles managed legal containment and Sophie spoke publicly, Catherine said nothing. She continued engagements. Hospital visits, charity work, candlelit vigils. Her silence became its own statement. Public sympathy shifted decisively. Behind the scenes, palace intelligence confirmed what many suspected. The children featured in the Sussex Christmas card were professional actors. Agency contracts, release forms, metadata, digital manipulation. Prince William reportedly reacted with controlled fury. "This isn't optics," he said. "It's impersonation." An addendum to the succession memorandum followed. Titles were formally retired. By New Year's Day, Archie and Lilibet were listed internally as non-titled, non-ceremonial dependents. Then Sophie appeared again unannounced on the BBC. Her words echoed globally. Motherhood is not a costume. Legacy is not a filter. Public reaction was swift. Thousands of women posted images with the caption #CarriedTruth. Meghan's legal statement arrived too late. Harry went silent. Netflix suspended projects. Podcasts were pulled. A motherhood-centered docuseries was shelved indefinitely. Inside Montecito, sources described a collapse. Meghan wanted to fight. Harry refused. On January 1, 2026, King Charles addressed the nation. No portraits. One unlit candle. Archival files beside him. "Truth is not inherited," he said. "It is upheld." Hours later, the High Court confirmed DNA proceedings would begin February 12th. DL waived anonymity. "What was made invisible was real," she said. Inside the palace, the posture shifted toward closure. No more interviews. No rebuttals. The crown had spoken. Catherine returned to duty wearing a small gold cradle brooch. Sophie retreated quietly, her authority cemented. William focused forward. Harry remained absent. And the line, once blurred, was now carved into stone. The candle stayed unlit. The boundary would not move.